Welcome to Podcasts Like It's the 1990s, the podcast where we talk about the films of the 90s and 2014. Buying a gun from a meth head, stealing Casey Wilson's urine, and spilling our blood all over the kitchen floor here in 2025. I'm your host, Phyllis Cliff, and with me today to wrap up our Patreon miniseries, where we talk about the 90s films of Terry Gilliam and David Fincher, also 2014, are Tom Meissen and Katie McGrath. Thank you for joining me for this, guys.
That was the strangest, twistiest intro that you've done. Yeah,
It was a little long-winded. It was because I was gonna just go with faking our death here in 2025, which just seemed boring. So then I was like, okay, she does all these things. I mean, this is only three of the things that she does. She does many other things. So I was like, there you go.
Can I say one thing now that we're on our last episode?
You never watched any of the films?
No, yeah, I just
That would actually be amazing. She's like,
no, I chat GBT'd them, guys. Totally, me with my technology wizardry. Yeah. My name is Katie McGrath.
Have I been saying it wrong the whole fucking time?
Yes, but it's adorable. And
okay, so just say it for me properly.
Katie McGrath.
So there's no th is what you're saying. It's just
the TH is silent.
Oh, it's just Katie McGrath.
Perfect.
I apologize profusely for all of these, and our future episodes together, I will do the best I can to make sure that I pronounce it correctly. You can understand me being a dumb person from this hemisphere, why I see TH and think.
Oh, completely.
But also, the Irish are known for putting a whole bunch of letters together,
usually extra vowels, usually
don't
not
make
extra
sense, and that you look at the word and you're like, oh, I don't pronounce it that way. In fact, I pronounce it this way.
As an Irish person, you would have been like seeing my name and gone, well, obviously her name is, Miranda Bryson.
Oh, yeah, it literally could be anything.
Yeah.
So my apologies to you and your family.
The Clan McGrath.
Is that what it means? Is that what it means by the luck of the Irish? Is you just pick a name and hope that it's the right
just
one?
Throw vowels at things.
Yeah,
and an AGH, and then you've got Ireland.
Like I know that it's a talk show bit that I'm sure is really annoying to you, that you've probably just not even seen them anymore. Where like Saoirse Ronan goes on, whoever, Jimmy Fallon brings out a bunch of names and says like, how do you pronounce this, and they laugh at you, and that's not cool, but your names are crazy too, so it's like it's a little bit of both, right?
I mean, I get you're not wrong, but
like
we're
Saoirse,
very
you look at that name and you're just like, how is that Saoirse?
Because we've got 5,000 years of culture and people speaking a language, and just because it's not an English language, I could keep going. I'm going to stop.
No, it's wonderful. Katie McGrath is here is the most important thing.
Yay.
And I am so sorry.
Oh God, it's fine.
This is the last David Fincher movie we're talking about. It's the end of an era. A movie that does not fit in the 90s, and we don't care because we just want to talk about Amy Dunn and her antics. Have you guys read the book?
Yes.
Did you read it, Tom?
Yes, a long time ago though.
Yeah, the book comes out in, yes. The book came out in like 2012, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's when I read it.
And I read the book not because the movie hadn't even been announced yet. I just think the book was such a phenomenon, and I was like, I'll give this a shot. And I loved it. It's a great book and pretty accurately adapted. I mean, there's stuff that had to be pulled, but like just in terms of time, like real estate, right? Like just we learn more about like Nick's mom and his dad, and there is sort of more ballast given to why these people are the way they are. But
she adapted the book.
She did, yes.
Yes, and I think, am I right that it was her first screenplay that she did?
It was.
Done.
Yep.
I think it's remarkable that for this to be her first one, and because it can't be easy to take your own book that you've worked years on and say, okay, mum and dad stuff, that can go. this stuff that'll be shit on film. To have such an understanding of film. I mean, also if you've got Fincher and his team helping you, that
this was one of those things where I was reading about the development of it, and we'll get into that. But it is interesting. Most authors, or certainly the ones with like clout, or good agents for that matter, are usually given a shot to do the first draft. And more times than not, they're like, they pat them on the head and say thank you, and then they
thank you, Michael Crichton.
Great work, Michael. Thank you so much. So I do feel like she's given the shot to do the first draft, and it's Fincher that is like, I want to stick with her. Like there are other people brought in a little bit to help her, other screenwriters, Steve Kloves in particular. She talked with a fair amount, who's one of my favorite screenwriters. Who has adapted books, right? He's the guy who did most of the Harry Potter books. He did Wonder Boys. So he's a guy who understands that transition, obviously, in that adaptation. But it is a testament to Fincher that, like, he reads Gillian's script, he likes it enough and sees, sort of wants the author's voice to be this screenplay, wants the book to be, her voice. And I do think that it is interesting that she talks about the process, how nerve-wracking it was, how hard it was, but that, like, it was Fincher. It was Fincher having her back. It was Fincher going back and forth with her and just being like, we can do this. And it is a testament to him sort of understanding, obviously, the power of writers and the power of scripts, but just knowing how to pull it out of them and knowing how to get them where they need to be. Is even fucking Sorkin talks about it too.
Yes, quite. I don't know how well you remember the book, but is the voice very similar? Does she have a very distinctive voice in the book that is apparent in the film?
I mean, do you remember the book, Katie?
I can't really remember. It was a long time ago.
So Gillian had written a couple other books previous to this. She had written Sharp Objects and Dark Places.
Yes.
And this book goes back and forth in perspective. You're in Nick's perspective, you're in Amy. It goes back and forth. So you can't do that really in the movie so much. But I do feel like they are successful of making the headspace of both these characters very, very clear. Right. I also think that the journal is such a wonderful device in a myriad of ways. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, it puts you inside her head, but also she's an unreliable narrator. So you have to question every one of the flashbacks as to the validity of them. Most likely did not go down the way that she is telling us the way that it went down, but we don't know that as we're watching it, obviously, for the first time. And then also, just as an organizing principle, it stamps you in time, so you understand the sort of where you are in their timeline of their
also such a simple way of taking what is a literary device of journaling. And so often you see things like that adapted into film, and something from the book is missing when it's a very clear literary device like journaling. To turn it into it being all about the colored ink and the type of the pen, and then you see her throwing the pens out. So turn it into a filmic, a visual device, is such a brilliant and such a simple thing, so that it's not all just voiceover, and there's the diary. And it's
the movie. I mean, there's a line where Boney, the cop, played by Kim Dickens, who's amazing in this,
so brilliant.
And she's like, oh right, the bar, very meta. So it's like they're already shining a light on the fact that this is a metatextual movie that's going to be self-referential to a degree, but metatextual in terms of voiceover and journaling and unreliable narrators. So it's literary and it's visual, to your point. Like, it's doing all these things, and it's like, I really do think that as twisty and turny as the plot of this movie is, it's deceptively simple in its execution. So you just think, like, oh, this is easy, quote unquote, what they're doing. It's why, like, I think about this movie should have been nominated for Best Picture. I think that on its surface,
Well, usually it wasn't.
isn't it crazy?
What
It
was
is.
nominated that year?
That's a good question. Let's look that up. Yeah, I mean,
And
I
off
do,
the top
sorry,
of
go
your
ahead.
head, was it nominated for anything other than Rosamund?
Only Rosamund. She's the only one who was nominated, or any. The movie was only nominated. She got that nomination, and then for the Golden Globes, Best Picture, sorry, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Screenplay, Best Score. But the
Score was
nominees
nominated.
for Best,
An actress not nominated for an Oscar.
they not for this.
No, they
Who
were
were?
for
Yeah.
Social Network, weren't they?
Who
Trent
were?
Reznor and Atticus
Oh, yeah,
Ross.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They were nominated for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo as well, I believe, and they
Right.
won for Social Network. But the nominees for Best Picture 2014, Birdman wins, whatever. American Sniper, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Imitation Game, Selma, Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. There's a
This
couple
is
on
when they
there.
started having a million. When did
Well,
they start having
that was in
like
09.
the 10 instead of the 5?
Basically it was because of Wally and the Dark Knight. So in 08, people lost their minds, understandably, I think, that the Dark Knight wasn't nominated, considering how successful it was and how kind of revolutionary it was. And again, it kind of comes back to why this film wasn't nominated, is that when you are genre on your face, I think the Academy thinks themselves to be hoity-toity fucking assholes, and they think, oh well, come on, like that's not worthy of being in this category. And then you're like, okay, but like The Imitation Game kind of sucks. Like it's sure it's got like high-minded ideas, I guess, but like it's not a very good movie. The Theory of Everything kind of sucks. Like again, like these are just like biopicky Oscar baity movies that are just sort of there. I don't particularly love Whiplash, quite frankly, but like all this is to
Sniper, did you say?
yeah, yeah, but that's Clint, and it made like $400 million. Like it just I, because America. But yeah, it's Gone Girl is one of those things where I'm just like, this movie was a hit. This movie is smart. This movie is climbing inside a genre and deconstructing it. Like, what the fuck else do you want from a movie?
Also, brilliantly fitting with the plot is that it's pretending to be a genre when actually it's a completely different genre. It's pretending to be a thriller when actually it's a romantic comedy.
It really is. I mean, by Fincher standards, but yes.
It's I will. This is the hill that I will die on. Gone Girl is a Shakespearean comedy.
Yeah, no, that's right. That sounds right. Yeah,
It's
I'll
full
give you
of pulling the wool over your eyes about character and who they are. It's mistaken identity. There's disguising as other people. There's occasional acts of violence, and then the whole thing ends in essentially a marriage because they reconnect and they're married for a second time. And it's full of, I'd forgotten because it's been a few years since I watched this, how fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
The script is. The dialogue is amazing. But then the structure of it is also a romantic comedy. It's a Shakespeare comedy. But
yeah, I mean,
it's masquerading as
totally
a thriller. Even the act of violence, watching it, even with the box cutter and thing, is so overdone that it's funny.
Well,
The fact that she's then covered in blood.
Yeah. It's the whipping of her hair that's funny. Yes. The actual murder and fucking him to death is less funny.
Her performance, and I mean Amy, not Rosamund, Amy's performance of the murder is pure comedy.
Absolutely. The look on her face while they're having sex, the boredom, the way she's playing him the entire time. Yeah, no, yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it is a Amy Dunn is a rich text. I watching it this time, I was really sort of. I mean, I've watched this film many, many, many times, and it's grown for me in my esteem of it. When I saw it in theaters, Um, I liked it. Didn't love it so much on its face the first time I saw it. I was a little bit like, and we'll talk about this, but like the Ben Affleck of it all, and the just sort of
Great.
he's great in it. Now I love him. At the time, I was just like, and I want to talk about Ben Affleck in general because I do think that like it's perfect casting
Yeah.
because of all the baggage we're bringing to it, all the feelings we have about this man.
Especially then, and him being
Yes.
tabloid fodder for so many years before it. It's kind
Yeah,
of still being the picture of the all-American guy.
it's true.
Also, when did the sad Ben Affleck meme start?
That was COVID. That's COVID. That was like around COVID.
That was
It's a little
around
bit
the Batman versus
well.
Superman thing, wasn't
So
it?
sad Ben Affleck starts with the infamous picture of him on the beach in the towel with his phoenix tattoo on his back and staring out a thousand-yard stare staring out into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then it seems as though everyone's just trying to snap pictures of sad, right? Like
But there was an interview that he and Henry Cavill gave at the time of Batman and Superman.
Yes, we're just staring off. Yeah.
He's just staring off, which is the exact look that Nick Dunn gives at the very end. Myself. And I wondered which came first. And actually, Gone Girl came first, didn't it?
Gone Girl came first, yeah. I mean, Gone Girl he is prepping for Batman when this movie, or he might even get the role of Batman while doing this, something to that effect. So it's happening around the same time. Katie, what are your thoughts? Yes, please go.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask what your thoughts are on Amy Dunn. What how do you feel about her? She is. I sent you a picture of a T-shirt that I'm gonna buy you.
I would wear that T-shirt.
I know. I
would wear the shit out of it.
It's a great shirt. Of it's like one of those old '90s mosaics of
Amy Dunn's face,
and then just Amy Dunn's face, and then like this. Yeah,
I've got one of those in that style of Proposition Joe from The Wire. Which I can't.
Perfect. So Katie, what are your thoughts on Amy Dunn? Do you think she's, outside of her murdering people, which I think we all can agree is bad? Bad. Yeah. Outside of that, do you think that? And I asked my roommate this. I'm curious about your thoughts. Do you think that her expectations for her marriage are unreasonable?
I think she's a psychopath. Okay. I just need to get out of the way. She is a psychopath. Yeah. I think Nick is a terrible husband. I think his behavior is awful. I think if I was married to him, I wouldn't orchestrate his murder. I mean, I wouldn't do all of this, but I'd be pissed. Because they make her out to be this he makes her out to be this horrible person at the start of the movie. Like, I came home and she's judging me and she's this and I'm that. And I'm like, you're fucking your student. You're fucking your student. You've made her move to Wisconsin. Missouri. Sorry. No, made her move. She doesn't know anyone. She's isolated. She's paying for everything. Like, she has no life. She has no identity here. No wonder she's pissed. But she's the bad guy. Now, ultimately, she is the bad guy for sure. Right. But I'm like, what the fuck are you bitching about?
What's that line of his?
Which one?
Where he just goes, I'm so sick of being... What is it? I'm so sick of being picked apart by women.
Yeah.
And he's fucking a 19-year-old.
It's after he's watching the shitty Nancy Grace type show. He's like, I'm so tired of being picked apart by women. It's like, he is, I mean, listen, he wouldn't be Ben Affleck if he wasn't victimized or pretending to be victimized all the time. But I do think that the reason I asked the question is because I think that, like, how can I put this? I feel as though he's not justified in any of the things that he's doing. That being said, her catching him cheating on her is terrible. I don't know that that he deserves execution by the government. Like, I don't know that he deserves to be, lethal injection.
No.
Seems extreme for cheating.
No. And her behavior with other men that displeased her, also very bad. But
right.
Like take out her psychopathic, not even tendencies, behavior, pure. Like Nick Dunn is a fucking douchebag. He brings would you want to be married to Nick Dunn? Like, what does he bring to this? He looks like he's moping around the house all day. He's just like, lying there with the beer and his hands down his pants. You know what I mean? More power to you. But she's like, what the fuck am I doing here?
But this is the thing. This is why it's a romantic comedy, because they are so perfect for each other, because they're both complete narcissists.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous when they're with other people. It's dangerous for the person he's having an affair with, because he's going to destroy her. And it's dangerous for anyone who she has had a relationship with before, clearly. But together, they keep playing these games with each other. We see it when they first meet, and they're doing essentially a quiz at the party about what sort you'll go for.
Amazing you
scene. Yeah. They and all of the games that they're playing all of the time. When at the party, and she's talking to a bunch of journalists,
and he pretends
to be a journalist. From the very beginning of their relationship, when it was good, it's all about these games, and the games just get bigger and bigger until this is the perfect one that will end. It's essentially who's going to break character and tell the other one, I love you first. And he's forced to do it on television in front of tens of millions of people. And so she's won that game. And then
also, don't you think there's an aesthetic component to this as well? Like, there is kind of this desire on both their parts to be with, like, he sees her at the party. She's obviously a very attractive, beautiful woman. She's outgoing, she's smart, and all that sort of stuff. And she looks at him and she sees, again, a very attractive man, a man who seems to have, listen, I mean, whether Ben Affleck's your thing or not, Katie, but I just think that, like, there is this,
I mean, there's definitely, like, she's way hotter.
Sure, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, she's actually a better match for Desi than anybody when everything is said and done, because Desi's also a fucking sociopath.
Don't you love the bit where at the table where she's like, you can talk about 18th century architecture and you can quote Proust in French, and I'm like, oh my God. And he's in there going,
even better. Yeah, exactly. The look on his face afterwards.
Because that's why he's been single and pining after her for 20 years.
Right. Yeah, because there's so many women that want that. But I agree with what you're saying, Tom, that, like, they're both, it's funny that, like, their relationship starts, and I don't want to speak for all men, but I'll speak for myself, which is that there is sort of this, he appreciates and enjoys the games and like the moment with the sheets at the Chinese food restaurant where, like, he's like, she's like, we're so fucking great together. We love these fucking stupid games that we're playing. And then he just gets tired of the games. He's just like, when can we just, like, chill? And she just has zero chill, obviously, and is like, if you're not getting,
it's not when can we chill, it's when do I have to stop making effort. He stops making effort.
That is
she's still making effort.
Speaking as a man, yes, accurate. At a certain point, we want to stop making an effort. I agree, and that's when she's like, fuck this, you give me effort forever or you die.
But here's the question, would she have still kind of gone on?
Yeah.
Would she have condemned him to death if she hadn't caught him cheating?
No. That's the strong Brits.
Exactly. So, maybe she's not so bad.
This is, by the way, like, I ride for Amy Dunn. If nothing else, very efficient. Like, she gets shit done.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And she made him the best version of himself.
Yeah. We'll get to that. I do think I see a lot of, like, it's funny. One of the notes I took down, I was like, I think David Fincher loves Amy Dunn because she might be the only person whose attention to detail rivals his. I do think that, like, there is something so finite and surgical, sometimes literally, about Amy Dunn that I think he's obviously drawn to that as a filmmaker. You can see how precise the precision in his work. I want to give a little bit of context for people who haven't seen this. In Carthage, Missouri, former New York-based writer Nick Dunn, played by Ben Affleck, and his glamorous wife Amy, played by Rosamund Pike, present a portrait of blissful marriage to the public. However, when Amy goes missing on the couple's fifth wedding anniversary, Nick becomes the prime suspect in her disappearance. The resulting police pressure and media frenzy cause the Dunn's image of a happy union to crumble, leading to tantalizing questions about who Nick and Amy truly are. Gone Girl opened on October 3rd, 2014 against The Equalizer, The Maze Runner, This Is Where I Leave You, and Guardians of the Galaxy. It would go on to make $369 million on a $61 million budget. Yeah, wow. I think it was a big fucking hit, which is why, like, and I mentioned this on a previous episode, it's so disappointing that this is the last studio movie he makes. This is a pretty reasonable budget for David Fincher, all things considered. It makes it back in spades. It shows that he can do this. And it's frustrating that he is now sort of relegated to fucking Netflix movies. The movie has 88% on Rotten Tomatoes for critics, 87% from audiences. It was nominated, as I mentioned, for Best Actress at the Academy Awards. It also received, Rosamund Pike received a nomination for Best Actress at the BAFTAs as well. And the National Board of Review included the film in its top 10 films of the year.
Did I assume you took part in the recent New York Times 100 best films of 2000.
I did.
Did this feature in it? In your top 10?
Not in my top 10.
Not in your top 10. I saw it was on their list. It was in the lower half.
It's in the 100. Yeah. It was in the 100.
It wasn't in your top 10.
It was not the Fincher I picked. I was very. This was very hard for me to do. I could tell you what my list was, but it was very hard for me to do. I missed the
deadline because I couldn't get lower than 13. I just couldn't narrow it down to 10.
So
what are you guys talking about?
Okay, so the New York Times, Katie, you're the best.
You're here.
Sorry, I'm not. So sometimes I just like listening to you guys. Great.
And listen, I love your listening face too. Where you're just eating, I don't know, nuts. I think. Nuts?
Dry cereal.
Oh, dry cereal. So the New York Times did a top 100 films of the 21st century. So basically everything that came out after the year 2000. Mm-hmm. And what they let people do is pick their top 10. So you were able to put your top 10 in there. Picking 10 films from the past 25 years was exceedingly difficult. Mm-hmm. I had a very hard time with it. I easily got to 20. Like that, I was like, okay, 20, I was like, fine. And then there was just a lot of yelling. Like I was just yelling and at the screen and just being like, because like there's a part of me too that's like, I want to seem probably smarter, more cultured than I am. So there was a lot of stuff that I was just like, I want this to be in there because of what it says about me that it needs to be in this top 10. And then I was like, just be fucking real with yourself and just put what your actual 10 are. But the Fincher I picked, because I only wanted one from each filmmaker that I, whatever. I picked Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which I adore.
Oh, of course.
But
I know
I'll tell you my 10 right now, just because I have you guys here and why not? This is in no particular order. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Inside Llewyn Davis, Wonder Boys, Royal Tenenbaums, Before Sunset, Almost Famous, 20th Century Women, Phantom Thread, AI, and Mulholland Drive. So that
an amazing number of those that I have not seen. I don't know if you're looking at it and you're like, which one of these could she not have seen?
I feel like, can I guess which ones you haven't seen?
Okay.
You haven't seen Wonder Boys.
Nope.
20th Century Women.
Nope.
I think you'd love that movie.
I think you'd like that.
AI.
Which one's AI?
Spielberg one with
Spielberg movie. Jude Law,
Little
Law
Robot Boy. Hair. I have seen that.
Okay.
I knew you would have seen that. I knew that.
Llewyn Davis?
Nope.
Yeah. You've seen Phantom Thread though, right?
Nope.
Okay, you would love Phantom Thread. You would love Phantom Thread. Yes.
No, you wouldn't.
Why?
Doesn't like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh.
Do you know, God, guys, after I said that, got off the chat and I
Oh.
felt really bad. I
Why?
felt really bad because he's an actor and he works really hard. He's really good at it. And then this, like,
And he's Irish?
he's not. But this little pissant,
He's not?
no, it's English.
Oh, I don't know why I thought he was. Is
He
it because
lives over here.
He's in a lot of Irish movies.
No, he lives over here.
Okay.
About some of the time. He lives not far from where I am, actually.
English
So he's
actors
very.
who love to pretend to be Irish.
I see.
We are delightful. No, he's
like
not.
In the Name of the Father is such an Irish movie, and
Yeah. He's very good in it. His accent's very, very good. But anyhow, I felt really bad because here's this like little pissant Irish girl in the middle of nowhere who can barely remember her lines half the time. And
can I just say there is no one that refers to you as a pissant Irish? No one thinks of that.
But I'm making fun of him. I'm not making fun of him, but just saying horrible things. Whatever. And I felt really bad. Not that
I promise you he'll never know.
No, he won't. But I felt really bad, and I have felt bad ever since. So this is a good opportunity for me to apologize to Daniel Day-Lewis.
Listen,
I was out of line.
Actually, maybe you should watch Phantom Thread because it's my favorite of his performances.
Okay, who directed?
It's your favorite? It's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh. It's my favorite. It's my favorite because it's as large as the others, but it's so restrained. It's just
funny. It's funny. It's just him just taking the piss the whole fucking time. I love it. I love
recognizable, the character. It's great. He's great.
It's really great. All this is to say that Gone Girl was not my Fincher pick for the top 10 of my New York Times, but it would absolutely.
Did you think about it? Did you think about it? Were you like a throw up between the two of them?
Unfortunately not. The other one that was Social Network was the other one that I strongly considered. Yeah, I
you know what?
Love this movie.
If I had rewatched Gone Girl before doing my list of I got to 13, it would probably be a list of 14. I think it would.
It's a great fucking movie.
Great.
It's a great movie. I'm trying to think of like. There's really kind of not much comparable to this movie, at least since this. Like when I think about the dark comedy that this is existing in, no one really does this. First of all, because studios don't really make them. And it's because the book was such a fucking phenomenon that you were actually able to do it. I do think that Gillian Flynn and Fincher, who clearly are very like-minded, they came very close to making Utopia for HBO together. So there was, it's a British show, I think, the original, right?
Yeah. Channel 4 show about comics. That was so brilliant. That was one of my favorite shows when it came out. It was absolutely.
So that show comes out. Fincher loves it, gets Gillian Flynn, gets Rooney Mara, goes to HBO and is like, we want to make this. And then what happened was, and this was kind of, I would argue this was maybe the moment when Fincher kind of broke with Hollywood. He was making 2 HBO shows. He was making a show called, Jesus Christ, what was it called?
Mindhunter?
No. He was doing a half-hour show for HBO that was about the music video industry in the 90s.
A half-hour show?
Half-hour show. And I believe there's even like half a dozen episodes that were shot. It's just we'll never see the light of day. So he's making that. I think it was like called Videocracy or something. Forgive me. I'm sure there's some listener that's like yelling the name right now. And he's making that and he's prepping Utopia. And the budget that he was asking for Utopia at HBO was pretty astronomical, all things considered, right? It was in the vicinity of like 150 to 200 million dollars to do 10 episodes of the show, which I mean they've done, but like whatever. So what happens is they kill Utopia, and then Fincher pulls the plug on the other show, as like it seemed as though they were basically like, "Fuck this, I'm out." He literally just said, "Fuck you to HBO on both of these shows." And then shortly thereafter, goes to Netflix.
How is he not sued?
I mean, listen, Hollywood's a stupid place. And I'm sure that there were a myriad of lawyers involved in this. And whether or not it was Fincher pulling the plug on the HBO on the half hour, whether or not that was going over budget, I'm sure there's a myriad of circumstances. But the reality was that David Fincher, understandably, in my opinion, was asking for carte blanche to be able to do these two shows. And I think that HBO, in their infinite wisdom, decided that they did not want to do that. And so he went to a place that would let him do exactly what he wanted without any interference. And that's why he continues to be at Netflix, because they just let him do whatever the fuck he wants. And listen, I would love David Fincher to do whatever he wants. I just wish it was for an outlet that released things in movie theaters and like actually cared about, you know, this industry and wasn't looking to destroy it. But that being said, this film obviously does very well. It's a big movie. There's a lot of people just to sort of give a little bit of context of how this movie came to be. 2012, the book comes out. 2011, the manuscript, the galleys for this come out. Reese Witherspoon buys the rights to it and starts to adapt it. She doesn't adapt it, but starts to get people together to start figuring out how they're going to do this. And this is early 2012. Then the book is released in June of 2012. 20th Century Fox options the book. Reese Witherspoon believes that she's going to be cast as Amy Dunn in this movie, meets David Fincher, and says that she decided to pull herself out of contention for that role. I don't want to suggest one way or the other. I don't think she would have been right for it. So all that being said, it all worked out for the best. She got a big check for buying the book rights and developing it. Basically, Gillian Flynn submits
very interesting, I think. She would have been interesting.
She would have been interesting.
But for the side of, for the Amazing Amy side.
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
There's something so glacial about Rosamund Pike in both, like untouchable. Like you never knew what she was thinking.
Yep.
I don't know whether I would have gotten that with Reese Witherspoon. No. There was like, you're always going. What works so well for me is the first time you see it, you have one opinion. And then when you get the twist, you want to go back and watch her again and see if you can pick up if she's a psychopath the whole way.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Because Reese Witherspoon, it would have turned Amy, I imagine, more into a Jekyll and Hyde type, that you get either Amazing Amy or you get psychopath. Whereas Rosamund just does something so brilliant throughout that you never know. And what she's very, very lucky is that she's capable of doing an expression. You know that there's thoughts going on underneath, but you can't quite read them. And she occasionally has a face that allows you, and this is brilliant, pure movie star magic, that allows you watching it to put whatever you want into that face. You can read that in whatever way you want. And
the shot at the beginning and the shot at the end.
Perfect.
But I do think, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think, and part of the brilliance of this casting is that specifically Fincher was like, I don't want an actor that America or the world has much of an association with. The thing about Reese Witherspoon, who I think is a great actress, and actually, in my opinion, gives one of her best performances this year in 2012 for Wild, where I think she's fantastic in that movie and shows the lengths to which she's willing to go for a performance. And she goes to some very dark places that I hadn't really seen her go before, or at least as believably as she does in that film. In this, I think she's America's sweetheart in so many ways. She's like this Southern belle, like this just very kind of like sunshine. I mean, her fucking company's called Sunshine something or other. Like she's literally that. I don't see Amy Dunn in that.
No, there's something. I always think, and again, I like Reese Witherspoon's, but there's something a little jittery in all her performances. Yeah, like, but not like effervescent, but just a little buzzy. And I don't think that works for Amy Dunn. I think Rosamund was astonishing, like brilliant, because she's the same in Amazing Amy and Psycho Amy. She's the same person. She doesn't give a different performance, but it's vastly different. You know what I mean?
She absolutely, and she talks about one of the big influences for her was Nicole Kidman in To Die For. Um, an amazing
I
movie
love that
and an
movie.
amazing performance.
Mm.
And it does make me think that like, and I don't mean this to sound ageist, but like a younger Nicole Kidman would have crushed this. You know what I mean? Like Nicole Kidman in
Yeah.
'95 doing Amy Dunn, I would have absolutely bought it.
I
Mhm.
read I read an interview with Fincher um, talking about Ross Pike,
Mhm.
saying I really wanted to find someone who had the quality of a young Faye Dunaway. And
Mm.
Yep, yep, yep,
one
yep.
of the films he referenced was Network.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the other, but it's where she can be so
Chinatown.
many things. Sorry.
Chinatown.
And Chinatown, that's right. That's you saw the interview. Where she could be so many different things at once. She could
Yep.
be everything but doing nothing at the same time. And I think he's got that perfectly in her performance.
Absolutely. I you also you needed someone who wasn't a movie star, right? Like
Mhm.
I think if this became a two-hander between two big movie stars, something's going to get lost. I
Mm.
think that Amy needs to be a bit of a cipher. She needs to be a little bit enigmatic, and I think that again, all of this points towards why she's so great in this film. The
Was
other,
she, was she very well known at all over there before? Because she was very well known over here.
Mm.
I think that probably the biggest thing she had done in
Pride and
'05, she's in
Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I think that that's the thing that people probably associated most with her. She's also, who could forget her amazing performance in Die Another Day. Um, so yeah, I don't. She was not particularly well known. She talked about Nicole Kidman in To Die For, Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct, which makes sense,
Mhm.
and also studied Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, the wife of John F. Kennedy Jr., and
Mm.
sort of her body language, which I think is interesting. The other people that were considered, there were a lot of people that were kicked around for these roles, as you can imagine. Um, Brad Pitt, I assume at some point or another was probably considered just because of the Fincher
Mm.
thing. Jessica Chastain for Amy Dunn, which I think is interesting. I think she actually probably could have done a really good job, but you know, um, the person who was apparently number two and supposedly might have even been offered the role was John Hamm, who couldn't get out of Mad Men. The Mad Men schedule was too constricting, and he couldn't get out of it. I can.
What is Fincher's thing with Nick Dunn and a chin?
Well, there's this, right? It's
Is
the
this just for that? Because
maybe
to be fair, can we have a slight aside here? Do you not all
please.
think that when he was cast as Batman, it was the most ridiculous thing because everybody would know he was Bruce Wayne was Batman because you can see the chin. Covers everything, but the chin is
Well,
there.
funnily enough, John Hamm was uh, second in the line for Batman.
Yeah, indeed. For a different iteration of Batman, though. Not
Yeah,
not
yeah,
not
yeah.
Snyder's, but yes, he was. I mean, John
Chin,
Hamm is one of
chin.
those guys that like I feel as though a little late in the game does he get noticed, right? Like Don Draper, he's already in his like early 40s, I want to say, when he gets something to that effect. When
Hope
he
for
gets that
Saul.
role.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not saying that he's too old for that role or that age is everything, but I do think that these sort of tent-pole movies and those types of roles, your Batmans, your what have you, tend to go to people that are a little bit younger. And I think that the iteration of Batman that he apparently was in consideration for, I think, was George Miller's version of
Oh yeah.
Justice League at one point. Like George Miller wanted to kind of fuck with notions of like,
Who
I
did he
could be
cast as
wrong.
Batman? Who did he cast as Batman now? That one.
That never happened. That
Yeah,
never
I
even
know, but he had a pretty
yeah,
like
I mean there was like I think Armie Hammer was involved at one point, I think, for Superman. I mean, I think there was a bunch of different people that
Mm.
were involved in that. Um, but it's interesting because like I can see John Hamm as Nick Dunn. I actually think he would have been very good in it.
Yeah.
I think he would have crushed it. Um, but the media baggage, the celebrity of everything that we've seen Ben Affleck go through is such a bonus to the
Also,
role.
I think, and Katie McGrath, you can help me with this.
Thank you.
Uh, um, it seems as though with John Hamm, women find him very attractive.
Mm,
With Affleck, men find him more attractive than women do.
interesting.
I do not find Ben Affleck attractive. I do not find John Hamm
So
attractive,
there.
but that's
So okay,
No,
okay.
but
So
but like
Katie, yeah. So sorry.
no, go on, go on.
Well, I finished your thought because I had another question for Katie.
So this is what happens when an Englishman and a Canadian do a podcast together. No,
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 you go
please.
first. No,
no,
you go first.
you
No,
go
please,
first.
you please.
Go ahead.
Meanwhile,
Um,
the Irish person just steamrolls over both of us.
like
Sorry.
Affleck is a guy who guys find really attractive, but you don't hear very many women say Affleck is the sexiest guy in the world. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. I
And I
so
think
there,
that's another reason why he's a great choice.
I
And
think that's
he's
yeah.
just the hot end of every man. Whereas John Hamm is not every man. He's just hot.
Well, okay. I there's this makes me think of a very funny moment. Gwyneth Paltrow was on the Call Me Daddy podcast. I don't know if any of those things mean anything to you. But she was on this podcast and the Alex Cooper, the host of the podcast, said, I want to do a game with you, Gwyneth. We're gonna do Brad or Ben. And Gwyneth goes, Brad. Like she didn't know that there was a game, that there were going to be follow-up questions. She just flat out answered Brad without even knowing any of the context, which I think
Whatever you're
is
going to ask,
amazing. Whatever you're going to ask,
you answer
Brad,
Brad.
which I think is fantastic. But I do think you're right, Tom, that like that Ben Affleck's charm is probably more affecting to men than it is to women. But my question was going to be, Katie, who do you find, like, who is your, the movie star that you think is super hot? Or I mean, we talked obviously Brad Pitt in Fight Club. He's an attractive
Yeah,
man in that.
he is very.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird. And you guys will be able to sort of, back me up on this one. I tend to not find movie stars attractive
Hmm.
because I don't know who they are as people. And so often
Oh,
movie stars turn out to be not very nice people.
yeah, I've
Do you
heard
know what I
that.
mean? And so I'm like, if I don't know who you are, I can't find you attractive. And
That's
I
interesting.
also have fear that secretly most of you are complete twats. So,
Well,
I
this was
mean,
a great
Tom
episode on
Ison,
Gone Girl.
Tom Ison. But you know what I mean?
I do.
It's very, I think it's very, like, I can tell you aesthetically, like Brad Pitt and Fight Club aesthetically is beautiful, but
Sure.
like it's aesthetically as beautiful like Michelangelo's David,
Yeah, I know what
you
you're saying.
know?
I think we're
So,
also, this is a
although
very,
Viggo Mortensen,
I love it. But forget everything I just said. I think Viggo
Mads
Mortensen's super hot.
Mikkelsen, Viggo
Okay.
Mortensen speaks like 7 languages. He has
I
a
know.
poetry publishing company. He
Right.
rides horses in South Africa. I think he
He's
makes
amazing.
pots. I don't know. He seems like
So,
a really nice
I
man.
do see there's a interesting kind of corollary between a Viggo Mortensen and a Mads Mikkelsen. I think there's this kind
Could
of
you
like,
imagine that sandwich?
not really. I I do think though that like they both feel like
Real people?
supernatural in a way
Mhm.
too. Like they feel like otherworldly, if that's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's
Yes,
something
but they
very
also
sort of,
feel like real people, not just
no,
an
they
actor, like a
absolutely
person with
100%. Yeah.
thoughts. And that's
Yeah.
the
I mean,
thing
yeah.
I think about Ben Affleck is that
Mhm.
I'm not sure he feels like a real person to me.
Listen,
And I'm
but
sure he's
so
a lovely man, but I'm like, I can't get
That's
past all the
that's
tabloid.
probably again the meta side of his
Mhm.
casting and taking all of the baggage. That's why he's perfect for this.
I mean, to your point, if you were the party scene where they met and
yes.
it was Rosamund Pike and there was Ben Affleck out there and John Hamm,
Hmm.
like John Hamm wouldn't be on his own.
Well, okay. So this is what, like, okay. The John Hamm casting is good because of Don Draper, right? Like of that persona. I'm in the middle of a Mad Men rewatch right now, actually, coincidentally, and like he's just incredible in that show. That is such a lived-in performance. You can see the charm. It's fine. Tom doesn't like it.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
Okay, guys,
And
watch
listen,
Mad Men. What are
I
you doing?
know, I know. It's the only show that I haven't seen, and it's one that
You
everyone
guys are
says I
crazy.
like.
Just
And
watch
there is
Mad Men.
look
You
at
would
the
love it.
disappointment on your face.
Well, because it's
I get this look all the time.
but it's probably in my it's definitely in my top 10 favorite shows of all time. Like it is just it is a
Listen,
masterful piece of television.
also, so many people have told me, probably yourself included, how much I would love it.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I don't know what
there's
Katie
no
likes.
reason for me not having watched it, other than
Maybe it's one of these things that it's been built up so much that you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this now. Like Breaking Bad, I've never seen it.
oh, if something you've not seen Breaking Bad.
I've not seen
better
Breaking
than
Bad.
Breaking Bad. Spoiler.
I've not seen Breaking Bad. I've not seen Game of Thrones. I haven't seen any of these. And everybody's like,
watch Game of Thrones.
I have seen The Wire like 5 times. Yeah.
Sopranos?
Yes and no. I have seen like the first 2 seasons and I love it. And then I've always gotten distracted and haven't gone back. So
Deadwood?
yes, love it.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
We can all agree on that. So I think that Nick Dunn, through the lens of Don Draper, the sort of the charisma and the suaveness of it, like I can see that really working. It's a different way into the character for sure. It's not really Missouri so much, although John Hamm is from Missouri. There is kind of that. I think there's a John Hamm version of Nick Dunn that is really, really interesting, and I would argue maybe even more complex than the Ben Affleck one. But the Ben Affleck one is more entertaining, it's more popcorn, and quite frankly, it's more this movie, right? Like this movie is going for that, and I think that the John Hamm version,
Nick Dunn can do without a lot of complexity. I think that's
he's a
the
dummy.
point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why Ben Affleck's perfect, because he's a dummy. Like it is, there are moments in this movie where this dopiness is so perfectly calibrated. When the cops show up right after she's gone missing, and Nick seems just not particularly concerned. He's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Like he's just a dope. And then there's like the first clue, and he's like, I know this one. He's a dummy. Like, which is part of I think why she likes him.
So great, because at first it's quite endearing. Mm-hmm. He's just a big dum-dum who's lost his mum.
Yes.
But then it's so brilliant how it goes from endearing to, oh fuck, you're the cause of all problems in America.
I am doing an episode on Armageddon later today, actually, for a future miniseries.
Amazing. Have you listened to the
Katie's face right now is filled with anger, sadness,
all of the things. All of them. I love that movie.
I love you for loving that movie, Katie.
It's a terrible movie. Of course I love it.
Terrible movie.
Of course I love it. Are you kidding me?
It is.
They sent miners to space instead of sending astronauts, because apparently in every man.
Have you listened to Affleck's commentary?
Just on that
phenomenal.
Bit. Just that bit. I'm
Chef's kiss. There's so many moments in the commentary. My favorite being helicopter, $100,000, no fucking reason. Like it's just like it is just an amazing commentary track. Ben Affleck actually did a Criterion Closet a couple months ago, and Armageddon was in the Criterion Collection in the earliest iteration. They no longer have the rights to it, so you can't actually. I don't know if it's a C, but all that being said, they gave him a copy because they still print the DVDs of it, and he's like, love this commentary. Like he's just, even he knows that like he went off the chain for no good reason on that commentary track. But watching that movie yesterday or the day before and seeing like baby Ben Affleck, right? Like just he's like kind of spindly. He's not like, this hulking kind of Batman physique that he has in this movie. He's so kind of like innocent and like has not been put through the grist mill of this industry. He's just had his teeth done because Michael Bay made him get veneers. So like he spent 6 hours a day in a dentist chair so they could fix his teeth. Like he is being built by Hollywood through the production of Armageddon. And then watching this film and just being like, this poor fucking guy, man. Like he's just been put through it. He didn't.
You know what? But I don't care if I end up standing sad on a beach. To have Hollywood pay to right every single wrong that I have, fine.
Yes.
I know the ends don't justify the means, but you know what? Do it. Go ahead, guys. Chuck me in your mince grinder. Do it.
I do think,
and chuck me out the perfect version of me with hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, and very, very sad.
Very sad. Yes.
and with a giant phoenix tattoo on my back.
Yeah.
It is. Have you
ever seen someone like Ben Affleck slamming a car door? Have you ever seen that one where he's really pissed off? And I'm like,
it's great.
The man knows how to.
Do you know what the man doesn't know how to do, though?
Oh, tell me.
Run. Have you watched him run on camera? It's incredible. He runs in Armageddon, and he does this thing with his hands. He just doesn't know what to do with his arms when he's running. It happens in Gone Girl as well.
Yeah.
He's running when the media is chasing him from the vigil, and he's like running, and you're just like, do you not know how your body works?
Maybe he should call Tom Cruise and have the running lessons.
For real.
Perfect. Have I ever told you about the only time I went running?
No, but it sounds like a great story.
Great stories. Tell me.
So my wife always used to run a lot. She'd get up very early, go for a run. I loved it because it meant I could stay in bed for an extra hour and stretch out. Great. But loved it. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should give it a shot. She seems great after when she comes back from a run. I'll try it. And it was a perfect, beautiful, crisp winter's morning, and blue sky, but the sun's out, and you could see your breath. And I was running down the road to get to the woods and thinking, "Fuck, this is great! I love running. This is amazing." And I'm feeling very Tom Cruise, and I got